What I'm going to do is I'm going to cut it up into two rectangles. Rectangle A and rectangle B. Is everybody okay with that? What's the size of rectangle B? 4 multiplied by 12. So in a test, I would show 4 multiplied by 12 is... Yeah, I wouldn't just write in 48. I'd write 4 multiplied by 12 is 48. And then I'm looking at this one. It's not 3 times 11. Why is it not 3 times 11? Because we have to take away 4 from the 11. And that leaves over 7, doesn't it? 3 times 7? 48 plus 21? 69 centimeters squared. 5. The first two parts of 5, okay? Now, we did something similar to it in class where some of us were trying to count the blocks, weren't we? And counting the blocks was a bit awkward. Would you agree with that? So there's a second way of doing it. How many blocks do we have on the blue side? 4. How many blocks do we have on the red side? 4. So what am I going to do? A half 4 times 4. I'm going to multiply 4 by 4 like it's a rectangle, except I'm going to half the answer then. So 4 multiplied by 4? 16. If it was a rectangle, it'd be 16. But it's not a rectangle, it's a triangle. So 16 divided by 2? 8. Alright, we'll try and get it right now. Alright, see the blue line here? Do you remember I kept saying it has to make a 90-degree angle? Would you all agree that's 3? And then what's the black line I'm doing here? 4. It's basically half of a rectangle. So it's, if I do 3 multiplied by 4, I get the size of the rectangle. So 3 multiplied by 4 is 12. But I'm not after a rectangle, I'm after the triangle. So I divide the answer by 2 and I get centimeters squared. Is that okay? Now, question, what's this, 6 part 2? 6 part 2? Okay, I'm going to go for the easy win. What's area A? It's a rectangle, so it's 10 by 14 is 140. I'm just using the 10 and the 14 for the rectangle. Now moving on to area B. Area B is a triangle. Agreed? Now, what is the green length of the triangle? It's 14 because it's the same as the rectangle. And then what I'm going to ask you next is what's the blue length of the height? 18 take away 10. What's 18 take away 10? Huh? 8. And then what we're going to get here? It's half a rectangle, isn't it? So what's it? Half 8 times 8 multiplied by 14 and half your answer, isn't it? So what's 8 multiplied by 14? 100 what? 112, I think. You check it again for me. And then 112 divided by 2? 56. 140 plus 56? Who got 196 for that? Now, next one. Is this 7 part 2? 7 part 2? Okay. So the deal is I got to get the area of the big rectangle and then I take away the small rectangle. So the big rectangle will be everything here. Agreed? So what's 9 multiplied by 27? 27 multiplied by 9, anybody? 243. And finally, we're going to take away this rectangle here. How do I get that rectangle? 6 multiplied by 21, yeah? What do we get there? And when you take them away from each other? 117 centimeters squared. Oh, sorry, you're right. I'm wrong. Thanks for that. It actually says meters, so I'm wrong. It's meters squared, and 117 meters squared. Cool. Would you all agree it's a triangle? Everybody agrees it's a triangle? Now, what would happen if the triangle is 40, yeah? If the triangle is 40, what do you think the rectangle is? Would you all agree the rectangle is 80? So 16 multiplied by h is 80. Does everybody see how I got that? A triangle is always half the rectangle. And then what number multiplies by 16 to give you 80? So you do 80 divided by 16 and you get 5. Is that right? Would you like another way of doing it that might be slightly faster? Okay, so another way of doing it that's slightly faster is, now that way makes sense to me, but another way you can do it that might be slightly faster is you just half one of the lengths. So which length do I have? Half it. 8. 8 multiplied by whatever h is 40. What is h? 5, because it's 40 divided by 8. And h will be 5. You can do it that way as well. Okay, here we go. Perimeter first, is it? Alright, perimeter is an easy win. Just add up everything. What you get? 25? Okay, expecting you all to get that in a test, okay? Now, next thing. Area. What's the area of the rectangle? 16? Okay. The area, ooh. So see that 9? That 9 has no effect on the area. Because remember what we said about the area? Has to be like that, doesn't it? So, what is this green length? 8. What is this red length? Everybody happy with 4? And then, it's a half of 8 multiplied by 4. Because the rectangle would be 8 multiplied by 4, which is 32. That 32 is broken up into 2. 16. So it means it's another 16. And 16 plus 16? 32 centimeters. Great. Yeah, I understand. Alright, so guys, here it is. So what the first one is it means this is 13, that's 13, that's 1, and that's 1. What do all 4 sides add up to? They have to add up to 28. You see that? They have to add up to 28. Or else it doesn't work. Agreed? Now, what is 1 multiplied by 13? Because we need to get the area of this. 1 multiplied by 13? 13. Now, what I'm going to do next is I'm going to show you how to get all the lengths. Okay, ready? So, I'm just going to leave it for a minute. This is 12, and that's 12. How do I make this add up to 28? 2 on each side? So 12 and 2. What about the next one after that then? What happens when I do 11? So that's 12 and 2. I think the next one's going to be 3 and 11. Because what happens when I add up all 4 sides? 28. I think the gist is, if you take 1 away, you have to add 1. So 10, 4, 9, 5, 8, 6, 7 and 7. Now multiply the length by the width. 13 times 1. 12 times 2. 11 times 3. 10 times 4. 9 times 5. 8 times 6. 7 times 7. Is that alright? Okay.